our next exercise, and it is very cold today, so that's why I'm super bundled up. Sorry if you can hear Titanium in the background. She's going to be our demo dog today. So this exercise, you can look at it a couple of different ways. We're going to be working on you moving and the dog moving from a couple of different locations. You can look at this as A, B, C, D different locations, or what I find it easiest to look at as like around a clock. So I actually have cones out today to show the different times on the clock. When you work this, you do not need to actually have cones out marking the different times, but if you find it helps you, you can use them. I just wanted them to kind of be the visual location. When you're starting the very first part of this exercise, I always start the dog straight on. The dog isn't going to be starting from anywhere else other than the 12 o'clock, or if you're looking at it opposite, the 6 o'clock position. So the dog is always going to be somewhere back here, and the easiest ones for the dogs to work are always going to be you moving straight down the line. So that will be your 6 o'clock, your 5 o'clock, and your 7 o'clock positions, with you moving to those different locations. So how our around the clock training works is the dog is starting back here, and you as the handler are moving into those different locations as the dog is getting into position. You will notice that some of these positions have you a little bit behind the dog. You can utilize whatever space you have. So I have them kind of small and condensed right now so you can actually see the different cones on the ground, but I could be much further away if I had the space to do that. So for my first ones, this is just moving into a little bit of our proofing. I still want to focus on seeing the dog have their head down as they're moving into their position with whatever object I'm using, and I'm still looking for them to be patient there until I release them, and I want to release them with very little to no movement at all, focusing on our release word. So the dogs are back here, and the easiest one I can do is just straight across to 6 o'clock, because we've already been working that in the last exercise. So the dog is there. I can either start with the dog and move myself into the 6 o'clock position as they get into position, or the second way I can work this is I can lead out all the way to that 6 o'clock position and release the dog into that spot and then go back and release. I would suggest working both. However, the easiest one usually for the dog is you moving with them first and then doing the forward ahead later on. Then as you're working this, remember that your board has both sides. So I want to be able to move to those different locations from those different sides. So our first one is to 6 o'clock. My second one could be 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, where I'm just drifting that way, and I want the dog to still get to their position without worrying about where I am. I also want to be able to start at this phase working my crosses. So this very first step that I would focus on is going to be working with the second half of the clock. The upper half of the clock are the harder ones, and you will work that in a later lesson, focusing on the higher up things, because those are always harder for the dogs. But I can do a lot with these lower half of the clock numbers where my dog is here, and maybe I'm going to do a crossover. So I was going to the 4 and 5 o'clock positions from that side where I was peeling away. Can the dog also handle that if I start on this side? So I'm moving with the dog and I'm adding that little bit of pressure. Can they still be in their position and have me add in those rewards? So that's what you're going to be working in your lesson this week. Have fun, and remember to take your time as you're working the steps. Yeah, super! I'm gonna look for that head down. Yes. Touch. 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 Break. Yeah, bravo! toss treat ready. That's my bad. Good. Touch. Touch. Break. Get it. Nice. Touch. Yes. I always want to reward forward, even if I'm going sideways. Girl, touch. Oh, that's my bad. The treat crumbled, so I couldn't toss it. Touch. Break. Nice. Touch. Good girl. Touch. You can toss more. Touch. And I'm always going to reward forward right now because I want them thinking not about what I'm doing. Touch. Break. Get it. Nice job. So the pressure is when it's usually hard for the dogs. Break. Touch. Yes. Rewarding the forward. Good touch. Good girl. Notice how I dropped that one and it was out of her reach. So she didn't go for it. Nice. Break. Nice job. Touch. Yes. Girl, touch. Break. Get it. Sorry, girlie. I tossed it too far. Good girl. Okay. Touch. Yes, I'm always rewarding. Oopsie. Uh-oh. Good fix. Where's your touch? Always rewarding forward. So if I get to the side and she's turning towards me, I'm not rewarding that. Where's touch?